through 7 practices. How has the secondary progressed? How are the players learning the new defense, and just what have you seen overall from the group?
We're making strides. Our goal is every day to just be 1% better than the play before or the day before. From that standpoint, we're making strides. What we're trying to focus is, just getting those guys to play fast and not beat ourselves and just be as fundamentally sound as we can. That's the thing. We can't. It's hard enough. The offense does too much for us to beat ourselves. So that's what we're just trying to stay focused on and doing that by just doing every little thing right. Whether it's seriously from the classroom, bringing pen and pencil on the field, doing what we need to do. So that's what I'm focused on. The other stuff, I know we got a lot of spring ball. We got practices in the fall. That stuff will take care of itself. We got to do the little things.
In terms of some of the personnel in your secondary, who has stood out to you? Who do you think has done well to this point?
We're just trying, as a group, I'd say we just got to be a little bit more consistent. Obviously the guys that have had some experience, impressed with AJ. AJ's, done a good job there. Fintrell's done a good job. Some days just learning the game. Leadership-wise, you got Tonio who's played. You got some young guys. Then obviously we got Cohen. And so what we're trying to do is just get those guys to bring each person along. So it's what I've realized is this was a talented group. So I'm blessed to have that opportunity. But what we're trying to get them to do is think like DBs. Schematics is schematics. It's just playing the snap before the ball happens. And then at the end of the day, be as fundamentally and technique sound. The talent they have, they wouldn't be here if they didn't. So that's what allowed those guys to continue to do it and keep going.
Hey, Coach, it's from Richmond. Good to meet you. You mentioned some of the veterans you have, guys back at corner like Anthony, and I know Darius is out right now. But how about the next line on the depth chart? Who are kind of the next 2 or 3 corners, and what do you like from what you're getting there?
Right now, we don't really, it's really bodies. We barely have enough at 3 deep right now. So, guys got some injuries. So right now, it really is just 3 groups. So the guys that's been rotating has been Eli's been going there games, and then Dave's been going there. Today we got Will in there a little bit, just to kind of get it. And obviously, you guys know you've done it long enough. Depth chart is just practice purposes, really. So that's just how we practice. We're just going to get guys who are going to prove themselves, and they'll prove who the guys are going to be. But in terms of the corners, that would be those guys.
And then maybe the same question then for the safeties, obviously Antonio and Langston and the guy at Cohen, the guys we know, but who else at safety has impressed you that you think can contribute?
Again, some days we're only 2 deep there, just getting through it. But I would say, so it might be some days I impress myself lining up in practice against it. But no, honestly, it's been Aiden's been going with the second group. Don's been going. Don Williams has been going. Donovan Johnson's been going. Then you got Chase Chalmers has been going. So, we've gotten Javen Burke. He got some reps today. He's gotten back off of some injuries. So every day is just trying to rotate those guys and just see them with different groups, giving them an opportunity to get different offensive, because we got some good offensive players, I'll tell you that.
You do have some guys who are out, so you're going to get reinforcements. But is the defensive backfield an area that you're hoping to address maybe in the offseason with some transfers to address the depth that you just talked about?
Potentially, we'll see. You never know. You just got to prepare for the guys we have here. So we'd like some more bodies there, obviously. So I think that'll be something that Coach Elliott, our recruiting staff, and all those guys, they'll address based on after we see the guys we get back for the spring.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, this is Jackie from 24/7. When on Saturday, the open portion of the part where the media was able to watch, a lot of focus was on tackling. How much have you seen this group really develop over the course of seven practices?
Well, hopefully we've seen some strides. It's something that we emphasize every day. We do a circuit every day, then we'll break it down as a period of individuals. And so what we just try to do is break down the fundamental part of, just closing. And it's really a mindset. We're trying to get those guys, again, to trust their talent, close that distance, and just be physical at finish. And that's some of the things that we said it's non-negotiable in the back end. You're going to have to want to do it. You're going to have to be physical, and we're going to get it done. So I think we're not missing anything as great as a missed tackle turns into a bad tackle when we have gang pursuit. And if you saw the practice, that was what those guys, from when we, run into the ball, he got the ball out. He's breaking that stack. So the guys are flying around, helping us not have to make open field tackles.
A lot of guys have said that they hated the way the season went last year on the defense side of the ball, and they were playing with a chip on their shoulder this this spring. Have you seen that mentality out there from these guys trying to kind of change the narrative, so to say?
Yeah, I tell them control what they can control. Last season was over. Learn from it. If you're worried about last season, that means that this season you're not focused on the next day. Live in the now. So, it was what it was. We owned it. And now we're just going to focus on what we can control, and that's this day. That's the next play. So they are playing with a little bit more passion. They have bought in. They're trying. They want to. And now hopefully they get that success that they're all preparing for.
Hey, Karam, Preston with CBS 19. Kind of following up on Jackie's question, coming in after, how last season went for these guys, you said there's some talent in this group. Is kind of part of the job this spring kind of rebuilding some of the confidence maybe that they lost from last year?
Me personally, just my perspective, no one else's, I think confidence is earned through preparation. So I think and I tell my guys every day, the only person that could take your confidence is you. So if they lost confidence, they did something themselves that they didn't prepare for. And so that's what we're doing every day. We walk through so many reps. I mean, the other day we were up to like 1,800 reps in only six to five practices. So we're getting those guys to, get in the classroom every day. We get meeting time and then hold them accountable to learning it, because at the end of the day, we can teach it, but we can't learn it for them. And, being here, the approach that I take them is the same work ethic that you have in the classroom, that you're scholars, you should have that in the classroom. And a lot of those guys just try to rely on talent. But I'm telling you, playing at the highest level, we're all talented. I've been there. So it's who can, execute, and it's all about preparation, because you'll never know. It's just education, just right in the classroom. If you're prepared, you might fail that test, but no one took your confidence. So that's what we're focused on, getting them prepared.
And then, obviously, your familiarity with Coach Rudd, has it kind of been a seamless transition, just kind of into the flow of practice, kind of knowing how he thinks and, being with him?
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you just never know. He'll come in there sometimes fired up and say some things, so it'll get us going. But I'll tell you, man, we are blessed on the defensive side of the ball. We got some great coaches. I mean, I've been around some guys, and these guys are really, really, they are pushing hard. They're coaching their guys up, and they got it. They're able to handle. We do a lot defensively. They've picked it right up. That's the good thing about Coach Rudd. He adjusts. So whatever we need to make adjustments, we adjust, and we're all on the same page. We got guys, even our GAs to analysts. I mean, those guys are sharp. So it's helped us install the defense and get rolling, because they've made it seamless.
And then kind of following up on that, I haven't talked to you since you got here to Charlottesville, but kind of what made you want to, come all the way across the country and come back to this area with Coach Rudd? Kind of what was your feeling when he, brought that up to you?
At first, I was like, no, I'm joking. But one of the opportunities was, one of my goals were to be a defensive coordinator at the Group of Five or Power Five level. And then when Coach Rudd came, Coach Calhoun had offered me that defensive coordinator job there. So it was a tough transition. But for me, I'm from the state, and, I have 3 girls and 2 younger ones. And just being around family was one that was really, really important. I knew the brand that UVA represents, and it's strictly really, really doing it right way. And then honestly, it was when I got a chance to be around Coach Elliott up close, hear his vision, and I truly believe that, he has the same views and the same passion that I do. And I was like, wow, it's always about growing. It doesn't matter how long I've been coaching. I always want to keep growing, and I thought he'd be a great guy to help grow me into that next person I want to be.
Coach, you mentioned Coach Elliott. He likes to run a pretty fast-paced practice, get a lot of reps in, which is good. You get all that work in. When you're dealing with some depth issues, how have the guys handled just, that pace when there aren't that many of them?
I'll tell you the truth. No one cares. And I try to get them that mentality. Like, that's the reality, right? You guys are going to report whether we get an interception or whether we give up a touchdown. So I tell them no one cares. Push yourself through it, because that's how life is. You're going to find some adversity. It's how you react to it. So I think that's what we're talking about when we say those details. They got to push. And now we know it's challenging, and we're going to take care of them. There's periods where we just stand around and take those mental reps, but we're just trying to get them to push through it and focus on what they can control, and that's that rep now. He's been smart, that's why he's earned this opportunity, and Coach Rudd knows when to take care of the guys. But it's challenging sometimes, but that's that mentality in the back, and we got to sprint back regardless if we just ran 80 yards for a ball. So that's the mentality of just focusing, because mental toughness, you could be as mentally tough, but if you're not physically tough, you're going to break at that adversity moment.
And Antonio was just on here, and he mentioned one of the things he wanted to improve in his game was some of his man-to-man coverage skills. How would you evaluate him in that area, and what work does he still need to do?
I think one thing I think he's taking a lot of strides. That's a guy that every day he can't ask enough questions. He's there, and that's the thing that I love. The guys that really they just want to let me pour into them and give them information. Now, in terms of what I've realized is everyone thinks man coverage is easy, and hey, there's a man that's easy. Go cover him. But what we've done is we've broken it down, and so now they know what they need to accomplish at each level. And so I think they're getting that, and then now they're just reacting as opposed to trying to stop every route. You know, that's the thing that all the guys are realizing, that offense can only do so many things, and if you could break it down, it's a mental piece. Again, it's a mindset. The DBs is a position. It's not a position, it's a lifestyle. So those guys have bought into what they need to do and play that snap before it happens.
And last one for me, but Virginia brought back a ton of talented receivers. One of the strengths people would say of the team. How does that help your group that they're guys like Wicks and Davis and Thompson?
You can't get better opportunity than go against those guys, right? And then the guys throwing the ball, you know, and then the coordinators, the calls they're doing, every day it's an opportunity to compete against the best. And again, they're on scholarship too. They're accomplished, so they're going to make some plays. We just got to make more than they do. But, I mean, it's phenomenal. I love it. I love those guys. I'm their #1 fan too. They make a great catch, great job. We'll get the next one. So it's been an honor. I mean, that's the way you get better, going against the best.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Anything else for Coach Cox?
Coach Elliott the other day had mentioned that Will Simpkins had done a nice job and been a surprise. What have you seen from him?
You know, I think big picture, he's coming along. You know, and the thing is, I really believe he's done a good job off the field. Everyone compliments on the field, but guess what? Because he's cleaning up the off the field stuff, the football piece is taking care of itself. And it's good to see that. We try to give him a little bit more reps, you know, but with younger guys, when it speeds up, they start beating themselves, looking in the wrong places. So the one thing I like about him, he plays fast and he's playing hard. You know, the rest of that stuff is my job to clean up. So as long as I get him playing fast and hard, we'll get him there.